You know, life doesn't always give us the answers we're looking for. Sometimes it gives us silence, and let me tell you something. That silence, that lack of response, it's not weakness, it's strength. It speaks volumes, even when words fail us. When people try to break you, tear you down or push your buttons, they want to see a reaction. They want to see if you'll fall into their trap, if you'll get upset, if you'll prove them right. But here's the thing. No response is the most powerful response you can give. Silence speaks volumes in a world that is often loud, chaotic, and filled with constant noise. Silence becomes an incredibly powerful force. It's a force that many fail to recognize, but once you understand it, it can change the way you approach every situation in life. Silence is not a void. It is not a lack of something. It is filled with strength, understanding, and purpose. And the best part, you don't have to say a word to be heard. People often mistake silence for weakness, thinking that if someone is silent, they have no opinion, no reaction, or no strength. But that couldn't be further from the truth. In fact, silence is one of the most powerful tools in your arsenal. The truth is, when you choose silence, you're making a statement. You're showing control over your emotions, your thoughts, and your environment. You're showing that you don't need to react to every single thing that comes your way. That's power in its purest form. Think about a time when someone tried to provoke you, when they said something meant to get under your skin, to trigger you, to pull you into their world of negativity. Maybe they were trying to make you feel small, to show you that they have power over you. And in those moments, the most tempting thing might be to react, to fight back, to let them know they can't get away with it. But what if you didn't? What if you just chose to remain silent? What would happen then? When you respond with silence, you take back control. You refuse to let their words dictate how you feel. You don't let them pull you into their drama, their anger, their negativity. And the more you practice this, the more you realize that you don't need to fight every battle. You don't need to engage with every insult, every criticism, or every attempt to make you feel inferior, because your silence becomes the most powerful weapon you have. Now consider how silence affects others. When someone expects a reaction from you, they are often left puzzled and frustrated when they don't get it. They want to see that they've affected you, that their words have made an impact. But when you don't respond, it disrupts their plans. They don't know what to do with it. Their power lies in your reaction, and when they don't get it, they lose their grip. That silence, that refusal to engage, becomes their kryptonite. But silence doesn't just affect the people around you, it also transforms how you see yourself when you choose to remain silent. You're demonstrating that you don't need external validation. You're telling yourself that your worth is not dependent on what others say or think. You are strong enough to stand on your own, to maintain your peace, and to keep your dignity intact, regardless of what's thrown your way in a world where everyone is shouting for attention, trying to be heard, trying to be validated. Choosing silence becomes an act of self-respect. It's like saying, I don't need to prove anything to you. I don't need to stoop to your level. I know who I am, and I don't need your approval. And when you begin to think this way, you start to realize how freeing silence can be. You no longer feel the need to explain yourself or justify your actions to anyone. Embrace the power of silence, and it changes everything. Silence also allows you to think more clearly when you're caught in a whirlwind of words, arguments, and noise. It's hard to make good decisions, but when you stop responding, when you take a moment of silence to reflect, you gain clarity. You can step back and assess the situation for what it really is. You can take a breath, gather your thoughts, and decide the best course of action without being clouded by emotion or external pressure. Silence allows you the space to make choices based on your own values. The art of maintaining emotional control rather than reacting impulsively to someone else's actions. And don't mistake silence for passivity. When you choose not to respond, you're not being passive, you're being deliberate. You're choosing your actions carefully, and you're choosing to let your peace be more important than winning an argument or proving a point. There's strength in knowing that you don't need to engage in every situation. There's wisdom in recognizing that not every battle is worth fighting. You can let the drama play out without you. You can walk away from the chaos, and in doing so you maintain your inner peace and your dignity. There's also something incredibly humbling about silence. When you don't react, when you don't fight back, you create space for others to reflect on their own behavior. You don't need to say anything for them to recognize that what they said or did was out of line. The silence can be loud enough for them to hear themselves, and that can be far more powerful than any words you could say, whether you say you allow. Sometimes the best way to teach someone a lesson is by showing them that you are above their petty behavior, that you won't be dragged down into their level of conflict and negativity. And silence is not just about not speaking. It's also about your actions. It's about how you carry yourself, how you respond to the world around you. When you choose to stay silent, you're choosing to act in a way that reflects your strength and integrity. Your silence says more about your character than any words ever could. It shows that you're grounded, that you are in control, and that nothing or no one can shake your foundation in moments of chaos. In moments when you feel the pressure to react, remember this: silence isn't a weakness, it's your strength. It's your power to remain true to who you are, to control your response, and to let your actions speak louder than words. When you choose silence, you show the world that you don't need to be loud to make an impact. You don't need to argue or fight to stand your ground. Your silence says it all. Reacting gives away your power. It's something we don't often realize in the heat of the moment. But every time we react impulsively, every time we allow our emotions to dictate our responses, we give control away. The more we react, the more we give others the power to determine how we feel, what we do, and even who we become. We let their actions, their words, and their intentions define our emotional state, and we unknowingly surrender our power to them. But here's the thing: the more you react, the less control you have over yourself, over your life, and over your future. So think about a time when you were provoked, when someone said or did something to get under your skin. The anger, the frustration, the need to respond, it all rises up within you. It feels like the right thing to do, to stand your ground, to defend yourself. But in that moment when you react, you've just handed your energy over to the person who triggered you. You've allowed them to take the wheel, and now they are driving the direction of your emotional state. They've won, not because they were right, but because they've managed to pull you into their world of negativity, where everything revolves around their words and actions. When you react, you let someone else control your emotions. You let them dictate how you feel in that moment, how you think, and how you behave. It's a dangerous cycle, one that you might not even realize you're caught in. Every time you let someone get to you, every time you allow their behavior to provoke a response, you're surrendering your power. You're telling them that they have control over you, that their words matter more than your peace of mind, that their actions have more influence over your life than your own inner strength. Control is unmaking the world a better place. And here's the hard truth: not every reaction is worth it. Not every situation deserves your energy, your time, or your emotional investment. Many people will try to provoke you just to get a reaction, just to see if they can make you feel small, angry, or defeated. But when you react, you fall right into their trap. You give them what they want. You give them the satisfaction of knowing they can control, you knowing that they can affect your mood, your decisions, and even your day. You become a puppet, and they're pulling the strings. But you don't have to be that puppet. You don't have to let anyone else control your life, your emotions, or your choices. When you stop reacting, when you take a step back, you regain control. You take back the power that you had unknowingly handed over. You decide how you will respond. You choose how you will feel. And in that choice, you reclaim your strength when you choose not to react. You're demonstrating an incredible level of self-discipline. You're showing that you're not ruled by your emotions or the actions of others. You're showing that you are in control of yourself, that you don't need to defend or justify yourself to anyone. And while others may try to provoke you, you remain grounded, steady, and unshaken. Your silence becomes your power. Your calmness becomes your strength. The real power lies in not needing to react. It's annoying that you can remain composed even when someone is trying to make you feel angry or upset. It's in realizing that the opinions, actions, and words of others don't have to define your reality. You don't need to respond to every attack, every insult, or every criticism. You don't need to waste your energy on people who are just looking for a fight. When you react, you give them more power than they deserve, but when you don't, you show them that they have no control over you, that their words and actions hold no weight in your life. Imagine how much energy you save when you stop reacting every time you engage with someone's negativity. You invest your energy into something that doesn't serve. How reacting gives away your power. Something that only drains you and pulls you away from your goals and your peace of mind. But when you stop reacting, you can use that energy for something better, for your growth, for your happiness, for the things that truly matter in life. You stop wasting time and emotions on things that don't deserve your attention. You free yourself from the mental and emotional clutter that comes with constant reactions. When you stop reacting, you also gain clarity in the midst of a heated situation. It's easy to lose yourself, to get caught up in the emotions of the moment. But when you stop reacting, you create space for yourself to think, to reflect, and to make decisions based on what's best for you. Not based on impulse or emotion. You begin to see situations for what they truly are without the haze of anger or frustration clouding your judgment. You make better decisions, not out of reaction, but out of wisdom and self-awareness. And the more you practice this, the more you begin to realize that your power lies not in your ability to react, but in your ability to respond. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reacting is impulsive, emotional, and driven by the need to defend yourself or prove a point. Responding, on the other hand, is calm, measured, and intentional. When you respond, you choose the best course of action for your peace, your well-being, and your goals. You don't let anyone else determine how you feel. You are the one in control of your life by refusing to react. You also set a boundary. You show others that you won't allow them to pull you into their drama or their chaos. You make it clear that you are not available for negativity or conflict. And the more you do this, the more you'll realize that you don't need to fight every battle. Not every situation requires a reaction. In fact, sometimes the best response is no response at all. At long last, you've gotten away from your own situation and you're dropping the responsibility. So the next time you feel the urge to react, remember this: every time you give in to that impulse, you're giving away your power. But every time you choose to stay calm, stay centered, and stay in control, you take that power back. You stand firm in who you are, and you refuse to let anyone or anything dictate your emotional state. You reclaim your strength, your energy, and your peace. And that, my friends, is the most powerful position you can be. In control over emotions is one of the greatest signs of strength a person can possess. It's easy to let emotions drive our actions, to let the overwhelming rush of feelings dictate how we behave, how we think, and how we respond to the world around us in moments of frustration, sadness, anger, or even joy. It's natural to feel the need to express those emotions immediately without thinking about the consequences. But true power lies in being able to control those emotions, to rise above them, and to make decisions based on clarity. Not impulse. The ability to control your emotions doesn't mean suppressing them. It doesn't mean pretending you don't feel anger or sadness or disappointment. It means acknowledging those feelings, understanding where they come from, and then choosing to act with wisdom and purpose, rather than being at the mercy of those emotions. When you let emotions control you, you allow them to determine your actions, whether it's anger, jealousy, fear, or even excitement. Emotions can overwhelm us, pulling us into situations we later regret. A moment of anger can lead to words that are harsh, hurtful, or destructive. A moment of fear can prevent you from taking the steps you need to grow. A moment of excitement can lead you to make decisions too. In all these instances, your emotions are driving the ship, and you are merely along for the ride. But when you take control of your emotions, you become the one at the helm. You get to decide where your emotions take you, not the other way around. Think about a time when your emotions got the best of you. Maybe you said something in anger that you didn't mean, or maybe you let fear hold you back from an opportunity you knew could change your life. When we let emotions control us, we're not thinking clearly. We're acting on autopilot, reacting to the world around us, instead of responding in a way that aligns with who we truly are and what we want to achieve. Number 4. But the truth is, your emotions are just signals. They're messengers trying to tell you something, trying to give you information about what's happening inside of you. The key is not to react to those emotions impulsively, but to understand them and then make conscious choices based on what serves you. Best emotional control doesn't mean denying your feelings. It means choosing how to respond to them when you feel anger. Rising, you have the choice to react with rage or to pause. Take a deep breath and decide how you want to handle the situation when you feel fear creeping in. You have the choice to let it paralyze you or to acknowledge it, understand its source, and take action. Despite it, when you feel overwhelmed, you can choose to give in to the pressure, or you can take a step back, regroup, and move forward with intention. In every moment you have a choice, and the more you practice controlling your emotions, the more you realize that you are not your feelings. You are not defined by your anger, your sadness, or your fear. You are the person who chooses how to respond to those feelings, and that's where your power lies. The more you control your emotions, the more you can control your outcomes. Think about it. When you let anger or frustration control you, you make decisions that are often rash and unwise. You say things that hurt others, and you make choices that don't align with your values. But when you take a moment to pause, to breathe, to center yourself, you can make decisions that are calm, measured, and align with your long-term goals. The kindness that you show and the growth that you make is what generates great and lasting commitments and align with your long-term goals. Emotional control allows you to think before you act, to weigh the consequences of your choices, and to respond in a way that will serve you and others in the best possible way. It also gives you clarity when emotions are in the driver's seat. Everything feels heightened. The world around you becomes a blur, and it's hard to make sense of what's happening. But when you gain control over your emotions, you clear away the noise. You can think more clearly, see situations for what they truly are, and make decisions based on logic, reason, and a deep understanding of your own values. You don't let the temporary surge of emotion cloud your judgment. You see the bigger picture, and you act accordingly. Emotional control also allows you to remain calm under pressure. Life doesn't always go according to plan. You will face challenges, obstacles, and setbacks. You will encounter people who try to prove, provoke you situations that make you angry, and moments of uncertainty that trigger the value of inner peace over validation. Fear. But in those moments, the ability to remain calm, to stay composed, to not let your emotions dictate your actions, gives you a massive advantage. It allows you to respond in a way that is thoughtful, intentional, and strategic. It gives you the ability to handle adversity with grace and resilience, and it allows you to stay focused on your goals, no matter what comes your way. This level of emotional mastery also creates a sense of inner peace. When you don't let your emotions run wild, when you don't react to every trigger, you create space for peace within yourself. You no longer feel like you're constantly at war with your own feelings. You learn to accept them, to understand them, and to let them pass without allowing them to define your actions. In doing so, you create a steady sense of calm that serves you in every area of your life. Your relationships improve, your work performance improves, and most importantly, your relationship with yourself improves. You begin to feel more at ease with who you are because you're no longer controlled by fleeting emotions. End quote. An emotional control builds resilience. Life will knock you down, and there will be moments when you feel like giving up, moments when you feel overwhelmed or defeated. But when you learn to control your emotions, you develop the resilience to bounce back, to stand up again, and to keep going. You learn that no matter what happens, you don't have to be a slave to your emotions. You can rise above them, you can endure, you can persevere, and that resilience becomes one of your greatest strengths, propelling you forward, even in the most difficult of times. The ability to control your emotions doesn't come overnight. It's a skill that takes practice, patience, and commitment. But every time you pause before reacting, every time you choose to respond with calm and intention, you strengthen that muscle. The more you practice, the more you realize that you have the power to shape your reality, to shape your life, by how you choose to respond to the emotions that arise within you. And in that power, you'll find a deeper sense of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. Don't let others define you. It's an easy trap to fall into, allowing the opinions, judgments, and expectations of others to shape your identity. Society, family, friends, and even strangers seem to have a never-ending list of things they want you to be, and it's easy to lose yourself in their demands. The pressure to live up to their standards, to meet their expectations, can be overwhelming. But the truth is, no one has the right to define who you are but you. No one can understand your journey, your dreams, or your struggles the way you do. And when you let others define you, you give up the most important thing you can have in this world, the power to choose who you want to be. From the moment we're born, we're often conditioned to seek approval from those around us, our parents, teachers, peers. They all have their own ideas of who we should be and how we should act. And as we grow older, these influences continue to shape the way we see ourselves. We get caught up in a cycle of comparison, constantly measuring ourselves against others, constantly seeking validation, approval, and recognition. We forget that we are not here to live up to anyone else's expectations, but our own. We are not here to meet someone else's idea of success, happiness, or worth. We are here to live our own truth and to be the person we are meant to be the moment you allow others to define you. You give away your sense of self. You let their opinions become your reality, their judgments become your truth. And this is dangerous because their definition of you will always be incomplete. They can only see a small fraction of who you truly are, and yet you allow them to paint a picture of your entire existence. They don't see your heart, your dreams, your struggles, or your potential. They don't see the journey you've been on or the battles you fought to get where you are. So how can they possibly know what you are truly capable of? How can they possibly know what your worth is when you let others define you? You diminish your own power. You give up the right to chart your own course, to follow your own path, to live life on your own terms. You become a reflection of their expectations, and in doing so, you lose sight of your own desires, your own dreams, your own aspirations. You stop living for yourself and start living for them. You sacrifice your authenticity, your uniqueness, in the name of fitting in the name of seeking their approval. Then be, but this will never lead to true fulfillment, because it's not your life you're living, it's theirs. It's important to recognize that everyone who tries to define you is coming from their own perspective. They see the world through their own lens, shaped by their experiences, their values, and their beliefs. But their perspective is not the same as yours. Their truth is not your truth when you let someone else define you. You give up your own truth. You allow someone else's limited understanding of you to dictate how you see yourself and how you live your life. You can't let anyone control how you feel or act or think about yourself. There will always be people who try to tell you who you should be. There will always be those who criticize, judge, or try to fit you into a mold that doesn't suit you. And the harder you try to please them, the more you will lose yourself in the process. They will never be satisfied with who you are because they don't see the full picture. They don't know you in the way you know yourself. And as long as you keep seeking their approval, you will continue to be pulled in different directions, never quite feeling like you belong, never quite feeling like you are enough. That's because deep down, you know that you are not being true to yourself. But when you stop letting others define you, something beautiful happens. You reclaim your power. You take back control of your identity, your choices, and your life. You begin to live in alignment with who you truly are, not who others want you to be. You embrace your uniqueness, your individuality, and your authenticity. You stop hiding behind the masks that others have placed on you, and you step into the fullness of who you were always meant to be. You start to trust yourself. You begin to listen to your own intuition, your own heart, and your own voice. You learn to differentiate between the opinions that serve you and those that don't. You become more discerning about whose voices you allow to influence you. You no longer seek validation from those who don't understand you, and you stop letting the judgments of others sway your decisions. You stand firm in your beliefs, your values, and your vision for your life. You realize that you are the only one who has the right to define who you are when you refuse to let others define you. You also stop living in fear. You stop fearing judgment, criticism, or rejection. You stop worrying about what others think because you know that their opinions don't define your worth. You learn that the only approval you need is your own. You give yourself permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to grow. You no longer let the fear of disappointing others keep you from pursuing your dreams. You live with confidence, knowing that your path is when to walk away and let go, silently own, and that you are enough just as you are. And as you begin to define yourself, you will attract people who see you for who you truly are. You will surround yourself with individuals who celebrate your authenticity, who appreciate you for the unique person you are, and who support you in your journey. When you stop trying to be what others want you to be, you create space for people who will love you for exactly who you are. You'll realize that when you stop seeking approval, the right people will naturally gravitate toward you. They'll see your strength, your confidence, and your authenticity, and they'll respect you for it. The truth is, you are not here to live up to anyone else's expectations. You are not here to meet someone else's definition of success or happiness. You are here to create your own path, to live your own truth, and to define yourself on your own terms. When you stop letting others define you, you take back the power to shape your own life. You stop living for others and start living for yourself. You become the author of your own story, the creator of your own destiny, and the true expression of your higher self. So don't let others define you. You are the only one who can define who you are and who you are becoming. Trust yourself. Embrace your uniqueness and live your life as the person you were always meant to be. Strength is in composure, in a world that constantly pulls us in different directions. It's easy to get caught up in the chaos. We face challenges, obstacles, and adversities that test us in ways we never anticipated. The natural response to these situations is often to react, whether it's through anger, frustration, anxiety, or fear. But true strength doesn't lie in how loudly we react or how dramatically we express our emotions. It lies in how we remain composed, how we maintain our inner peace, even when the storm rages around us. Composure is the quiet strength that keeps us grounded, focused, and resilient. No matter what life throws our way, there will be times of anxiety, pressure, and stress when you do not have control in moments of crisis. The most powerful thing we can do is stay calm. It's easy to lose control, to let our emotions run wild when everything seems to be falling apart. But it's in those moments that composure is most needed, when everything feels out of control. Your ability to stay composed becomes your greatest weapon. It's in the silence of that composure that you find clarity, that you find clarity. You begin to think more clearly, to see things for what they truly are, and to make decisions that are wise and thoughtful. In those moments, you become the calm in the storm, and it is that calm that allows you to move forward with purpose and confidence. Composure doesn't mean suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It means acknowledging what you feel without letting those feelings control your actions. It means understanding that emotions are temporary and that your reactions don't have to be. It's about choosing to rise above the turmoil, to be the person who stays steady, no matter what's happening around you. This kind of composure requires strength, but it's a strength that comes from within, not from external circumstances. When you react impulsively to challenges, you give away your power. You let your emotions dictate your actions, and in doing so, you lose control. But when you choose to remain composed, you take back that power. You don't let the situation control you. You don't let the people or the events around you dictate how you feel or what you do. Instead, you remain the one who is in control, the one who chooses how to respond, and that is where your true strength lies. Composure also builds resilience. Life is full of setbacks, disappointments, and unexpected challenges. But when you stay composed, you build the emotional strength to weather those storms. You don't crumble under pressure, and you don't let failure define you. You learn from your experiences, you adapt, and you grow stronger with each challenge you face. It's the ability to remain composed in the face of adversity that allows you to bounce back, to keep moving forward, and to never give up. When you are composed, you are not swayed by the ups and downs of life. You remain grounded, knowing that no matter what happens, you have the strength within you to handle it. In the face of conflict, composure is also your best ally. It's easy to get caught up in heated arguments, to lose your temper and let your emotions control your words. But when you remain composed, you have the power to de-escalate the situation, to respond calmly and thoughtfully, instead of reacting with anger or frustration. This doesn't mean you suppress your feelings or avoid confrontation. It means you approach the situation with a level head, with the intention of finding a solution rather than creating more chaos. Your composure allows you to be the voice of reason, the one who can see beyond the moment and focus on what really matters. The more composed you are, the more you begin to see that you don't need to react to everything. Not everything deserves a response. Not every criticism, every insult, or every challenge requires you to rise to the occasion with emotional intensity. Sometimes the most powerful response is no response at all. By choosing not to engage in the drama, the conflict, or the negativity, you maintain your power, so you protect your peace. You keep your focus on what truly matters to you and let go of the distractions that try to pull you off. Course composure is not about being passive. It's about being deliberate. It's about making a conscious choice to not allow external circumstances to disturb your inner peace. One of the greatest benefits of composure is the confidence it brings. When you are composed, you project an aura of strength, of calm certainty that inspires others around you. People are drawn to those who are steady, who remain grounded in the face of uncertainty. Your composure becomes a source of stability, not only for yourself, but for those who look to you for guidance. It's in that calm assurance that you become a leader, someone who others trust to handle difficult situations with grace and wisdom. Your composure gives you the confidence to face whatever challenges come your way, knowing that you can handle them without losing your sense of self, so you know who you are and know that, and let nothing stop you. Composure also allows you to live with intention. When you are calm, you are better able to focus on your goals, to stay aligned with your values, and to make decisions that reflect your true desires. You are not swept away by the tide of emotions, but instead you navigate through life with purpose, and clarity. This is not to say that life becomes easier when you are composed, but it becomes more manageable. You approach challenges with a clear mind and a steady heart, and as a result, you are able to handle them with a greater sense of ease and effectiveness. Moreover, composure leads to greater emotional intelligence. It helps you understand not only your own emotions, but also the emotions of others. When you remain composed, you are able to empathize with others, to respond to their needs with understanding and care. You don't get swept up in the emotional currents of the moment. Instead, you are able to maintain a clear perspective, which allows you to connect with others on a deeper level. This emotional intelligence enhances your relationships, both personal and professional, and allows you to navigate social dynamics with skill and sensitivity in the world, where everything seems to move at a fast pace, where emotion run high and reactions are often impulsive. Composure is a rare and powerful trait. It's the strength that keeps you grounded, the power that helps you rise above life's challenges, and the calm that allows you to make decisions with clarity and purpose. The more you cultivate composure, the more you realize that true strength is not in reacting to every situation, but in remaining steady. Composure is the ultimate strength. No matter what life brings your way, your composure is a reflection of your inner strength, and it is in that strength that you will find the resilience, confidence, and peace to navigate the journey ahead. The power of focus is one of the most underrated forces in the world today. We live in a world full of distractions, constant notifications, overwhelming responsibilities, and a never-ending stream of information coming at us from all angles. It's easy to lose sight of what truly matters when everything seems to demand our attention. But in the midst of this chaos, there is a simple truth. The ability to focus is the key to achieving success, finding clarity, and unlocking your true potential. Focus isn't just about concentrating on one thing. It's about aligning your mind, energy, and actions toward what you truly desire. The power of focus begins with intention. It starts with the decision to prioritize what matters most in a world where we are constantly pulled in 1,000 directions. It takes a IU's effort to decide where to put our attention. Most of us know the feeling of being spread too thin, trying to juggle multiple tasks at once, only to find that we are not fully present in any of them. When we scatter our attention, we dilute our energy and reduce our effectiveness. But when we focus on one thing at a time, we harness all of our energy toward that task, and that is when we experience true power. Focus is like a laser beam. When we direct our attention to one specific goal, we are able to cut through the noise and make progress in ways that would seem impossible if we were distracted. It allows us to move with purpose, to work with intention, and to make every action count. the more we practice focus, the more we develop the discipline to shut out distractions and direct our energy toward what is most important. This doesn't mean that we eliminate all distractions or that we become immune to the temptations of procrastination, but it means we become better at managing them. We learn to acknowledge distractions without giving them power over us. Focus also builds momentum. When we direct our attention to one task and stick with it long enough, we begin to build a sense of accomplishment. Each small step forward fuels our motivation to continue. It's through sustained focus that we make real progress, but momentum isn't built overnight. It requires consistency, patience, and the ability to stay committed to the task at hand, even when it feels difficult. When we focus on something long enough, we build momentum, and with momentum comes the power to push through obstacles and achieve the goals we set for ourselves. The power of focus also allows us to eliminate the feeling of overwhelm. We've all experienced the overwhelming sensation of having too much on our plate, of feeling like there's so much to do and so little time to do it. But when we learn to focus, we break down our tasks into manageable steps. Instead of trying to tackle everything at once, we focus on one thing, and then the next, and then the next. We start to see that success isn't about doing everything at once. It's about doing the right things at the right time and doing them well. Focus helps us prioritize and eliminates the feeling of being pulled in multiple directions, allowing us to achieve greater results with less stress. Focus also helps us build resilience. It's easy to get discouraged when we face setbacks or encounter difficulties along the way. But when we focus on our goals and remain determined to achieve them, we build the mental toughness necessary to overcome challenges. Focus doesn't mean that we never face difficulties or obstacles, but it does mean that we keep our eyes on the prize, no matter what. And when we focus on our purpose in the bigger picture, we develop the resilience to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. This unwavering determination is one of the keys to success, and it's only possible through the power of focus. The power of focus also allows us to tap into our creativity and innovation. When we are scattered and distracted, our minds are not free to explore new ideas or solutions, but when we focus our attention, we create the mental space needed to think deeply, to problem solve, and to generate fresh ideas. Focus clears the clutter from our minds, allowing us to access our creativity and innovation in ways that we can't when we are overwhelmed by distractions. 9. The more we focus on one thing, the more we open ourselves up to new possibilities and insights that we would have otherwise missed. Focus also helps us build stronger relationships. In a world where we are constantly multitasking and juggling multiple commitments, it's easy to become disengaged from the people around us. We might be physically present, but mentally we're elsewhere. But when we focus on the people in our lives, whether it's a loved one, a friend, or a colleague, we show them that they matter. True connection comes from being fully present, and that requires focus. When we focus on others, we listen with intention, we engage with empathy, and we build deeper, more meaningful relationships. Focus enables us to give others the attention and respect they deserve, and that strengthens the bonds we share with them. The power of focus also enhances our ability to make decisions. When our attention is scattered, our decision-making becomes cloudy. We second-guess ourselves, way too many options, and find ourselves paralyzed by indecision. But when we focus on what's truly important, we gain clarity. We are able to weigh our options more effectively, trust our instincts, and make decisions with confidence. First, believing that you're worth, trust our instincts, and make decisions with confidence. Focus sharpens our ability to see things clearly, and that clarity leads to more decisive action and better outcomes. Focus doesn't just impact our professional lives, it also shapes our personal growth. When we focus on self-improvement, we invest time and energy in becoming the best version of ourselves, whether it's learning new skills, developing healthier habits, or improving our mindset. Focus allows us to make steady progress by dedicating our attention to our own growth. We create the space to evolve into the person we want to become. Focus gives us the power to take control of our own development, to shape our future, and to continuously push ourselves toward greatness. One of the most remarkable things about the power of focus is that it is entirely within our control. While there are many factors in the power of self-respect, in silence life that we cannot control, we have the ability to decide where we direct our attention. This means that the success, happiness, and fulfillment we desire are all within our reach, as long as we are willing to focus on the things that matter most. Focus is not something that happens by chance. It's a choice we make every day. It's a skill that can be developed with practice and discipline, and once we master it, there is nothing that can stand in our way. The power of focus is a tool, a weapon, and a gift. It allows us to cut through distractions, eliminate overwhelm, and create the momentum we need to achieve our goals. It empowers us to face challenges with resilience, to tap into our creativity, and to build meaningful relationships. Focus gives us the clarity and confidence to make decisions and take action, and it enables us to continuously grow and improve in a world full of noise. The ability to focus is a rare and invaluable asset. It's a force that, when harnessed, can change everything. Peace is more valuable than validation. In today's world, we are constantly seeking approval, recognition, and acknowledgement from others. We crave validation from the people around us, whether it's in the form of praise, social media likes, or the approval of our peers. We live in a society that places a high value on external validation, often measuring our worth based on the opinions and judgments of others. But what if we realized that the pursuit of validation is not the path to true happiness or fulfillment? What if we understood that peace, inner peace, is far more valuable than any external approval we could ever receive? At the core of the desire for validation is a need for acceptance. We want to be seen, heard, and acknowledged. We want others to recognize our worth and value. There's nothing wrong with wanting to feel appreciated, but when our self-worth becomes dependent on the opinions of others, we give away our power. We begin to live for the approval of others, constantly seeking validation to feel good about ourselves. This creates a cycle of dependence where we are never truly satisfied or at peace with who we are, because we are constantly measuring our worth against someone else's standards. The truth is, no amount of validation from the outside world will ever fill the void we feel. Inside, external validation is fleeting. It comes and goes depending on circumstances and other people's moods. One moment we may feel praised and valued, and the next we may feel ignored or criticized. When we place our happiness in the hands of others, we give up control of our own well-being. But peace, true lasting peace, comes from within. It comes from the ability to accept ourselves fully without needing anyone else's approval. Peace comes when we stop seeking validation from others and start finding our worth from within. Inner peace is a powerful force. It allows us to live authentically without the constant need to measure up to someone else's expectations. When we are at peace with who we are, we no longer feel the need to constantly prove ourselves. We can let go of the pressure to fit in, to conform, or to seek approval. We can be true to ourselves, follow our own path, and make decisions based on what feels right for us, not what will gain us validation from others. When we stop seeking validation, we start living from a place of personal truth, and that is when true peace begins. Validation is often rooted in fear, the fear of rejection, the fear of not being good enough, the fear of being judged. We are taught from a young age to seek approval and validation, whether it's from our parents, our teachers, or our friends. As we grow older, this need for validation becomes ingrained in us, and it can shape the way we approach every aspect of our lives. We may find ourselves constantly seeking praise at work, in relationships, or on social media, thinking that these external affirmations will make us feel better about ourselves. But the truth is, the more we chase validation, the more we create insecurity within ourselves. We begin to rely on others to determine our worth, which leaves us vulnerable to disappointment, rejection, and criticism. Finally, on the other hand, peace comes from embracing who we are, flaws and all. When we are at peace with ourselves, we stop comparing ourselves to others. We stop looking for validation and start appreciating our own unique qualities and strengths. We reckon that our worth is not determined by the opinions of others, but by our own values, actions and beliefs. Inner peace allows us to stand firm in our truth, regardless of what anyone else thinks. Inner peace allows us to stand firm in our truth. Regardless of what anyone else thinks, it frees us from the constant need for approval and helps us embrace our authenticity. We no longer need to seek validation because we already know our own worth, and that inner peace is priceless. Finally, peace also allows us to cultivate deeper, more meaningful relationships. When we seek validation from others, our relationships are often based on superficial needs and expectations. We may try to impress others or seek their approval, but this is not a foundation for genuine connection. When we are at peace with ourselves, we are free to be vulnerable, authentic, and real with the people around us. We are no longer trying to live up to anyone else's standards, and as a result, our relationships become more honest and fulfilling. We attract people who accept us for who we are, and we are able to form deeper connections based on mutual respect and understanding. Perfect. That's so powerful. And I just want to read this because true peace also brings clarity. When we stop seeking validation, we free our minds from the clutter and noise of external opinions. We can focus on what really matters, our personal growth, our goals, and our happiness. We no longer waste time or energy trying to please others or seeking their approval. Instead, we invest that energy in nurturing our own peacemaking decisions that align with our values and taking actions that lead us closer to the life we want to create. Peace helps us to clear away the distractions and focus on what truly matters, and in that focus, we find the strength and determination to move forward with purpose and confidence. The beauty of peace is that it is not dependent on anyone or anything outside of ourselves, while validation can be easily swayed by others. Opinions, peace is a constant. It doesn't rely on external circumstances or approval. It comes from within, from the deep understanding that we are enough just as we are. When we find peace within ourselves, we no longer feel the need to seek validation from others. This is how we find peace within ourselves. We no longer feel the need to seek validation from others. We are no longer dependent on anyone else to tell us that we are worthy, because we already know that we are. We stop searching for external confirmation and begin to live our lives with the quiet confidence that comes from knowing who we truly are. Moreover, peace is a state of mind that allows us to find happiness from within. Validation may bring temporary happiness, but it is fleeting. It is conditional on how others perceive us. But peace is unconditional. It doesn't rely on anyone else's approval, and it doesn't fade away when circumstances change. Peace is the foundation of true happiness, because it comes from a deep sense of self-acceptance. When we embrace peace, we create a lasting sense of fulfillment that doesn't depend on anything external, and ultimately peace is more valuable than validation, because it is the key to living an authentic, fulfilling, and meaningful life. It is the foundation of self-worth, happiness, and inner strength. When we stop seeking validation and begin to embrace our own inner peace, we unlock the door to true freedom. We are no longer chained to the opinions of others, and we are free to live life on our own terms. In a world that constantly pressures us to seek approval, choosing peace over validation is an act of self-love and self-respect, And that is a power, unshakable focus, staying true to yourself, that no one can take away. The world can't touch your soul. The world may try to influence you, challenge you, and push you to your limits, but it cannot reach the deepest part of you, the essence of who you are. The part of you that is unshaken by external circumstances remains untouched. Your soul is the most authentic, pure, and resilient part of your being. It cannot be corrupted, swayed, or damaged by the chaos and turmoil that the world throws at you. It stands firm, unbreakable, and eternal, no matter how much life tests you. Number 4, it is powerful because it is personal. We often get caught up in the noise and struggles of the world. We face rejection, disappointment, failure, and hurt, and it feels as if the weight of the world is on our shoulders. People may criticize you, try to bring you down, or try to change you. But what they don't realize is that their words and actions can never touch the core of who you are. The world can touch your body, your mind, and your emotions, but it cannot touch your soul. It cannot take away your peace, your essence, or the strength that resides within you. Your soul is the sanctuary where your true power lies, and no matter what happens outside, it remains a safe place that is untouched by the chaos. The world is full of distractions, temptations, and influences that can pull us in many directions. It can be easy to lose ourselves in the midst of it all, to forget who we are and why we started. But when we connect with our soul, when we ground ourselves in our inner truth, we remember that the world's opinions and expectations are just fleeting. They are temporary. They are not the measure of our worth. What matters is what lies inside our soul, our essence, and our connection to something far greater than anything the world can offer. When we allow the world to touch our soul, we lose touch with our true self. We begin to identify with the roles we play, the labels we wear, and the achievements we accumulate. We start measuring our worth based on external validation, but your soul is not defined by what you do or what others think of you. Your soul is not affected by success or failure. It is not shaped by the opinions, expectations, or judgments of others. Your soul is the part of you that is free from the need for validation. It simply is. The world will throw all kinds of challenges your way, trying to shake your confidence and test your resolve. It will try to break you down, push you to the edge, and make you doubt yourself. But your soul is your foundation. It is the unwavering force that keeps you steady in the storm. No matter how hard life gets, no matter how many times you fall, your soul remains strong. It whispers to you in the quiet moments, reminding you of your worth, your purpose, and your true power. Your soul remains strong. It whispers to you in the quiet moments, reminding you of your worth, your purpose, and your true power. The world may try to make you forget, but your soul knows who you are, and when you listen to that inner voice, you remember that the world's challenges are just temporary obstacles that cannot touch the core of your being. In a world that is constantly changing, your soul remains constant. People may come and go, circumstances may shift, but the soul is unchanging. It is the part of you that is eternal, unaffected by the passing of time or the fluctuations of life. The world can take away material things. It can take away success, wealth, and even relationships. But it can never take away your soul. It can never take away the power that resides within you. The essence of who you are, your true self, is not bound by the things that the world values. It is bound only by the truth of your own being. When we look to the world for validation, we give it power over us. We allow our worth to be determined by how others see us or by what we accomplish in the eyes of society. But when we turn inward, when we connect with our soul, we find that our worth is not determined by any external factor. Our worth is inherent, and it cannot be taken away. Your soul is priceless. It is the part of you that remains untouchable by the opinions of others or the challenges of life. When you align with your soul, you discover a deep sense of peace and strength that no external force can shake. Your soul is your compass. It guides you through life's journey, leading you toward your purpose and helping you navigate through the storms. The world may try to divert you from your path, but when you listen to the whispers of your soul, you find your way back. The world may try to distract you with its noise and confusion, but your soul will always guide you back to what matters. It will remind you of who you are and what you stand for now, before the last. It is your connection to your higher self, to your truest desires, and to the divine energy that flows through you. Unquote, the world cannot touch your soul, but it can try to distract you from it. It can try to make you forget who you. Conclusion: embracing the strength of your soul are and why you're here. It can try to convince you that you are what you have, what you do, or what others think of you. But your soul knows better. Your soul knows that you are so much more than any label or achievement. You are a unique expression of life, a divine being with infinite potential. When you reconnect with your soul, you tap into a wellspring of power, wisdom, and love that can never be diminished by anything in the world, and you begin to grow from it. The world may test you, challenge you, and try to knock you down, but your soul is unshakable. It is your true source of strength. It is the part of you that remains calm in the face of adversity, the part of you that knows everything will work out in the end. When you align with your soul, you align with your true power. You begin to live from a place of inner peace, and nothing on the outside can touch that peace. The world cannot take away your soul's essence. It cannot break your spirit. You are unbreakable because your soul is untouchable in moments of doubt or difficulty. Remember this: the world can never touch your soul, no matter what happens, no matter how challenging life may become. Your soul remains your anchor. It is the one thing that will always be there for you, reminding you of your strength, your purpose, and your truth. Embrace the power that lies within you, and know that no matter how much the world may try to shake you, your soul is untouchable, though the soul is untouchable. And even if you do break from the people who drag you down, know that no matter how much the world may try to shake you, your soul is untouchable, and it is the most powerful part of you, and it will always guide you toward peace, fulfillment, and strength. Remember this: no matter what happens in life, no matter how loud the world gets, your soul remains untouched. The challenges, the judgments, the rejections, they all pass. But your soul, the core of who you are, stays grounded and powerful. It cannot be swayed by the opinions of others or the struggles you face. So when the world tries to knock you down, when it tries to tell you who you should be, stay anchored in the truth of who you are. Your soul is untouchable, unbreakable, and resilient. Trust in His power. Embrace its peace and let it guide you through every storm. Keep moving forward with unwavering faith, because the world may try to shake you, but your soul will always remain your greatest strength. You are untouchable. Keep standing firm. Keep rising. Your soul is your power, and that power is unbreakable. Your soul is your power, and that power is unbreakable. So the next time someone tries to pull you into their mess, remember this: your silence will speak louder than any words ever could. Your strength is in your ability to remain calm, to remain composed, and to rise above their negativity. Let them keep shouting while you stand in silence and watch them crumble, because they can't handle the power of your peace. No response is the most powerful response, and the more you practice it, the more you'll realize the world can never touch your soul when you know how to remain silent. Thank you